Hey guys, welcome back to Kiwi Classics. Back on the Cougar today. As you can see, I've already been working on it. Got this wheel arch that we moved up 2.5 inches, all welded on. Now we've got to step up and address the gaps left. You can kind of see down, oh, if I can point to it, down here, there's a hole. And that's the hole left from moving the wheel arch up. There creates a gap. So let's get on it, get that done, and we'll show you what the process is, and yeah, let's have some fun. Okay, as you can see, we've got it pretty much welded on. Here's our problem area. We've done the weld, around this, the upper edge of the fender flare, but yeah, we've got this gap here. As you can see, we've got a gap in the lip that rolls around, and you can kind of see where it's moved. The wheel arch, has gone up, and we've got to close this gap up. Where it gets difficult is you've got this body line here, which comes around and carries on. It's supposed to carry on down, but here is the original body line, and it's coming up here. And if you carry on, follow that line, comes up about halfway through. So we've got a mismatch here. If we carry that on down, it's just going to intersect this line and it's not going to look good. So we've got to make a new panel to go in here that's going to have we'll probably join the line about here, the body line, tighten up that arch, that curve, so that it comes up and actually runs into the body line it's meant to run into. So now I've already managed to do the forward edge, so we've just been experimenting with that this morning, and as you can see, that's kind of all done. So that's the look we're going for, and let's get to it. I'll show you what I did. We'll do this back one, and you guys can get the idea of how it all went down. Right, back in a second. Okay, so first thing we're going to tackle is this little section here, which is basically the pinch weld around the wheel arch. Now, as you can see here, we've got a bit of a gap. Now, most of that gap is kind of weldable up, but it does start to widen out towards the bottom here, and we've got to try and cut a little tiny skinny piece of metal to go in there, which is kind of just going to be difficult. And so what I'm going to do is actually cut this higher up to where the gap's a little smaller, so we can weld it up. Now, and I've quickly made up this little piece here, and that is going to go like about there. We've got a bit of trimming left to do, but that kind of gives you, if I can get my arm out of the light, that kind of gives you an idea of where we're going with that. That's better. Yeah, so that's going to go in there. We've got to trim a little bit of the original metal out, make some room for that to go in there, and then that will put a bit of structure back in here, and we can then start to make up this panel up here. Right, so that's looking a little better. So we've now got a full wheel arch going on. So now we just have to address this a little bit. So I'm going to get the old tripod so you can watch what I'm doing as I do it. So I've got a little template which is just roughed out, and this line here is the shape of this body line that I want to carry on down here and rejoin in with this line. So that's, I've kind of folded it along that black line a little bit, put a couple of nicks in it to allow it to have a bit of shape, and that is, there he is, that's going to sit there about like that. That line, nice new line, we're going to line up, that's the plan. And so yeah, I've got to make a bit of, this is a compound curve in here, so we've got to do some stretching on this side, some shrinking on this side, So I'll go through that with you as soon as I get this roughed out into a bit of sheet metal. An interesting one is going to be like rolling this line here, but I'll show you that in a second. Okay, so I've got my piece of metal trimmed. We just marked out the outline from the original cardboard template. We need, I think, cut the template down along where the body line needs to be, the one that we're going to roll on the bead roller here in a second. So yeah, just marked it outside because that's the way, that's going to be the outside of the repair panel as it sits on the car. And so we need to bead roll on the back side of it, not on the inside, to push that line, that body line out. So yeah, let's get it in the roller. Now this is a neat little roller set from Eastwood, especially for doing these curved lines, because it gives you almost, look, if you really tighten it down, you can get almost a 90 degree, which we're not looking for that hard, but so you can roll a fender well lit, that kind of thing. These really are quite neat. So yeah, now we've got to remember we've got to do it from the back side, but not that side. And yeah, just line it up there on your line and start rolling. And the effect is really pretty good. It takes a little bit of effort to get it around the corner, and of course you've got to be reasonably firm with it. It doesn't take a little bit to make it turn because it's wanting to grab on that wheel, but just slow and steady will get you there. And out the other side it comes. So not sure how much of that you can see on camera. It's probably not quite enough yet. I think I'll tighten it down a little bit more and we'll give it another roll through. We need a little bit more of an angle than that. So we'll give it another turn and a half or so, and we will roll it through once more. So, and if you don't get it right the first time, just cut yourself another piece. I mean, you're not breaking the bank with that little piece of metal. Or use a bit of scrap and practice. See what it is you want, how much you want, and just get a feel for it. But these are a great little toy. You can see with that extra tightening on that bolt, that's really sharpened up that line a lot. Now you really can. I think you should be able to see that pretty easily. That's going to be the body line. The wheel arch is coming over. It's going to come down, run into there, and out the back. So yeah, a little bit of hammering, a little bit of shrinking. We'll do that in a second. Okay. Right, so I've got my trusty shrinker stretcher back on the job. What we have to do with this is, the way this is curving, we need to stretch that side a little bit as it rolls over. It wants to stretch because it's on the outside of the corner. And this side, we're having to roll it down and in, so it actually needs more material. So we're going to stretch it here to make this edge sink down a bit, and actually shrink it here to curve that down like that. So we have the shrinker jaw in there. So yeah, let's get this working. And again, it's one of those things you kind of got to sneak up on a little bit. You don't quite know just exactly what you need until you try it. That's given us a little more shape there. Slide that in there. This is the stretcher. And we'll just do the same side on the inside of the curve, same deal. We're getting a few little kinks and things like that in there. You've just got to, I don't know whether you've noticed this. This is actually, I don't actually know the name of it, but cobblers or shoe repairing people had these. They put their shoes over there and nail new soles on them. But this is great for metal shaping. I just stumbled across this one day, and it's like, look at the cool shapes in it, and you can between these two shoes, as I call them, there's a bunch of different shapes, so you can actually, it's quite helpful for hammering. So you can get rid of some of those kinks. You can usually find the type of edge that you want. So it's kind of getting to where we need it. So let's go and try it on the car. Okay, so you can see that this kind of shapes the rough idea. The back end there, it's fitting fairly good. There's not bad. We do have quite a gap kind of here. So this area here needs stretching to push it like towards the body. And we'll get that in shape, and then a little bit of working on this outside edge, and we'll be pretty close. All this hammering and noise, every time you hit it with a hammer, it stretches a little bit. So I'm just trying to, that has its limitations, especially in a compound curve like that. So you kind of like do a rough stretch of it, and then you've got to basically even it out, like spread that stretch out a little bit. So it's just hitting on a hard surface, and the back of the vise is good, that's nice and flat. Back to the car. Try it again. That got us about halfway to where we want to be, but not all the way. So let's just keep at it. Now, I don't know whether I've shown you this before or just how close we can get. This is a little favourite hammer of mine. It has a convex shape that way, like on a 90-degree plane to the handle, and you just roll it around and it has a convex shape going perpendicular to the handle. So you can just be hammering, if you need a curve that way, you can get it so it rolls in. If you're hammering in this angle, you can just change how you want to do things. It's really handy for shaping curves with. I'm going to try this back on the car. Yep, we're definitely winning, guys. We're definitely winning. Try again. All right. Use our our patch pedal. So as you can see, we've actually got, it's close now. It's to the point where, we can adjust on the fly a little bit, and hammer and, get a few tacks in there, hammer it, dolly it where we need to. and get it trimmed up. So this is about ready to weld on. So let's break out the welder. So got the panel tacked in. It's looking good. This body line here, this, you know, which is a real feature line, this shape here, you know, is now following around and heading off out the back like it's supposed to. So just got to go around, tickle this in, and get it ground up, and it'll look like it never happened, or at least that's the plan. So yeah, that's kind of how you do it. As I say, you know, work at it. You know, it's going to take you a couple of tries probably to get it. I mean, I've been doing this for a wee while. I've just done the one on the front here. You know, so I had an idea of, you know, what I needed to do. So yeah, okay, you know, I've made it look a little easier than it really is. And that wasn't my intent, but it's kind of a little hard not to. But if you follow those steps, that process, and just, you know, hammer at it, and, you know, if it's your second or third or fourth try, you know, it's all a learning curve. Like, you will just get better at it. So yeah, give it a go, and you guys have a great weekend. I'm going to finish this up and hit the road. So see you guys.